What up, everyone? CJ here, officially kicking off our new, I think, YouTube channel. By the time you're watching it, you'll know for sure, but we are going to have videos set up to give feedback, announcements, things like that to the team as a whole. Daniel and I were discussing different ways to communicate, and we realized that on a daily basis we have stand-up and we give announcements and things like that, but something we need to broadcast to the entire team is a little bit more difficult because not everyone works every day. And so this is going to be our way to answer questions, give company-wide announcements, things like that. And we're excited to kick it off with this first video. With that, I will let you know that either by the time you're watching this or very soon after, we will be sending out a survey. And that survey is to be collecting feedback. There's a couple quick questions, kind of scoring, hey, how are things going so far? How do you like the position? How do you like working for Daniel and I? Are we taking care of you? Do you feel taken care of? Just kind of get a general sense of how we're doing, because we want to make sure that we're providing a great job and a great environment. We think things are going well, but we want to make sure we actually verify that. This survey will be optionally anonymous, and what that means is you can put your name in if you want. Doesn't matter if you don't have to. We want honest feedback. So you have a few questions on there, and then we have an open-ended, just like a box that says like, hey, anything else, good, bad, the other, that you want to give us feedback on, you can put that in there. And then we're opening up a mailbag as well, which is a place where you can basically give us a mailbag of questions and say like, hey, I'm curious about this. How does this work? Hey, other companies have this. Can we have that? Anything that might come up, we will then go through and we'll have that survey in Mailbag and kind of post videos answering that to the entire group, and use these videos in order to do that. With that in mind, there are a couple questions that have already kind of come our way in a regular enough basis that we're going to treat that as our first mailbag that we're answering up right now. And so I'm going to go through and do that and answer those two big questions we've seen so far. And sorry if you don't like the video editing, it's not going to be anything super fancy, but it should answer your questions. I'm in a beautiful Mercedes Sprinter 2019 with a cracked windshield. So not safe to be on the road, but safe to do a video in. And here we are. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is pay. I've talked about this in a number of stand-ups, but I want to make sure we're crystal clear on it. First and foremost, direct deposit. It's really up to ADP in your bank. I can't make it go any faster. It takes 1 to 2 pay cycles. The reason for that is ADP is sending out information, a pre-note is what it's called, to your bank, and they are saying, hey, does this person have this account number? I want to make sure when we pay them, they actually get that money. That verification back and forth takes a little bit of time. It depends on your bank. If you've missed a pay cycle and got a paper check, reaching out to your bank is the best way to try to expedite that. Say, hey, did you reach out from my company from ADP? But what I can guarantee is whether or not you get direct deposit or a check, you will have a pay every other Friday in one of those two methods. And if anything is ever messed up with your pay, or you think something's wrong, let Daniel or myself know. Our promise to you is that we will look into it, and before the day is over, before you finish that route, we will have an adjustment check in your hand if something were to be mistaken. We do double check everything. Mistakes happen. We want to fix it as quickly as possible. That's our commitment to you. It's one of our primary jobs as an employer. And then with that, we have an interesting pay setup. So we have you clock in and clock out the actual hours that you work. However, we don't want to punish you for doing a good job and finishing early. And so the way that we've responded to that is by providing a bonus at the end of each week that will make up for any hours worked below what you were scheduled to work. So the example that I'll use is that if you're scheduled to work 4 days, that's 4 8-hour shifts. That means you should have 32 hours of pay at the end of your week. So what we'll do is we'll look at your week, and based on the number of hours that you actually worked, let's say you actually only worked 30 hours. So that could mean some days are over 8, some days are below 8. We just look at it at the end of the week. If you had 30 hours instead of that scheduled 32, what we're going to do is take your rate, which is $15 an hour, multiply that by the 2 hours that you didn't work, that you were under your schedule, and we will add a $30 bonus onto that paycheck. So you get the same exact pay, same treatment from taxes, but you didn't have to work as many hours, which we think is a pretty good deal. We would rather do that and reward the people who are able to finish early, do a good job. You still have to have high quality, high safety. We want to make sure you're not just like delivering stuff and it's actually not, I'm swiping, but I'm not actually delivering anything. But we want to make sure that you get paid and get rewarded for doing well. So you'll see that in a bonus line on every pay stub. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I can walk you through exactly what that was and where it matches up. There will also be additional bonuses and incentives that are coming through for the people who we can rely on the most, the people we can count on. And those folks, we're going to be rolling out that program here in the next couple of days. We'll probably have a video walking through it, but basically the ones that we can rely on, count on, got to use that pun to do the saves, help other people out, make sure the team is getting home on time every single day. We're going to have some extra perks, prizes, things like that, monies for those individuals. All right, that was question 1, and now on to question 2. What is this new driver support position? So today was our first day. We had an individual who was a driver who is now behind the desk. So let me kind of walk through exactly what this looks like and what our plan is. So the driver support position is going to be someone who supports drivers. It is going to be a driver who drives 2 to 3 days a week, and then on 2 to 3 days a week to fill out their rest of their 40 hours, they will be supporting. That could be anything from an hour before loadout, helping us with making kits, assigning routes, figuring out how exactly we're going to get what vehicle to what person, getting everything situated in the morning so that you're ready to go and have a smooth start to your day. Or it can mean coming in a little bit later and doing the dispatch portion of the job. So when you call in as a driver and have issues, can't find an address, got bit by a dog, have been in apartments for 2 hours and can't take it anymore and want to leave, the dispatch is going to be the person that's going to help. That driver support is going to help behind the desk to talk you off the cliff, to make sure, hey, it's going to be okay, we can walk you through this. And the reason that we're confident in those individuals performing that task is that the people who are being selected for this position and doing this as part of their work week are people who are the cream of the crop in delivery. They get it. They are fast. They are safe. They have high quality. They have good communication skills. It's not just being a really good delivery driver, but it needs to be someone who can connect with the team, relate with the team, help others out. There's a lot of components of the position that is important to be able to communicate, to want to communicate. I think we have people on the team who that sounds great too. I think we have people on the team who are like, you know what, I just want to do my deliveries, get my job done, get out of here, get my paycheck, get my bonus for finishing early, and that's fine too. So we'll have a mix of both of those available. Big question, big answer. No difference in pay. The hourly is going to be exactly the same. There's components of this job that are easier than the driving because you're behind a desk. There are components of the job that's harder than driving because you are solving problems and helping other people out. And there's also the fact that half of your week or more, 2 to 3 days, you're still driving. So the hourly rate is going to be exactly the same. Actually, as I think of this incentive program that we're rolling out for our top drivers in the next couple of days, I think the total money available to individuals will actually be higher if you're a driver than if you're behind the desk. Not to dissuade anyone, but that's just trying to be upfront. Transparency is really important to me. That's how we're kind of looking at taking care of folks. So no difference in the money there. I'm checking my notes. Communication skills are big. Got to be a top driver so that we know when someone calls in, hey, how do I handle this? I want someone on the other end who can answer that question and answer it with experience. If that's something that you might be interested in, please let us know. We're going to have a few folks there. The goal is to give Daniel and I some days off from time to time, hopefully this can give us that balance. So that's the driver support position. Did I hit all the things? Same pay. Honestly, there's I'm not trying to talk down the position as I'm thinking about this now, but you're probably going to work more hours but the same pay, and I mean that because on those driver support days you're not going to have access to leaving early and still getting that bonus. So I don't want them to make less money, but I do think drivers will make more. There's components of the driving job that is a lot harder, and so we want people to be rewarded for that hard work. I'm really big on matching up what you're doing with what you're getting compensated. I think that's an important part of a job, important part of being a good employer. So we're going to do that. I think that answers everything that we have here. As more questions come up, as we think of more things, we will have more videos. I'll try to make those videos in the 5-minute range. This one is coming up on 10, so I don't want them to be too long. These aren't mandatory, but I want it to be a way where you can take the questions that are coming in, answer them, send them out to everybody. Dan and I are having so much fun doing this so far. I've really appreciated the team that we've made so far. I think you all are crushing it, and I don't want to be too cocky, but we have the best team in this building, and I'm confident in saying that. And that's not me, that's not Daniel, that's what you all bring to the table every single day. Thank you so much for that. More to come. Count on Horst. Wait, I'm back. I totally figured out a better way to finish the videos. I can't believe I didn't think about this the first time. So rewind 6 seconds. And as always, have fun, be safe. Oh gosh. Well, that worked better in my head.